Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the lower bracket finals. It is between Ascent, who was the 2 seed, and Mal, the 3 seed. I am here with Jarrett, who just finished his Highlander match. How you doing, Jarrett?
I'm doing alright, all things considering. My voice is a little bit shot, but I'm still ready to cast this game. Kind of excited for.
Yeah, this process match, I'm definitely expecting to be close. The Viaduct, I hope they do something interesting, because I don't know if they can take Ascent head-to-head on it, but starting with process, anybody you want to look out for on these teams?
I kind of want to look and see how the soldiers on Mal play for the most part, because I've seen them play process before in this playoff run, and it seemed like a lot of their success, the team success, came on whether or not the soldiers made the right call on whether or not it was like, do you need to make space? Do you need to go straight in for a particular target and things like that? And especially when it comes to such a staple map such as process, where there's not a whole lot of like cheese strats or anything like that. Like it's the stereotypical pug map that everyone's extremely comfortable with and extremely familiar with. With them not probably being able to pull out very many surprises, one would imagine. I think it's key on their soldiers to do the dirty work for their team to succeed here.
Yeah, I don't know. The recent, in quotes, change, Slem on Flank Scout, I5 on combo, I think definitely spreads out like all the individual talent, because I think at least Slem just can run behind, take a 1v1, and he'll take every single one, while High5 just needs to sit on beam. I'm looking to see what Zayler can do on mid, because a lot of the times how Mal plays it is side just stickies the other team's pack, and they just spam and sit in their choke waiting for soldiers to bomb.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's soldiers on Ascent, which usually they're going to fade off, if they can do that and Zayler can just walk cross point, unload damage, should be good on the mids.
Yeah, it definitely depends on target selection too, because I've noticed that Psy's been pretty passive yet effective on process from what I've seen in recent times. He doesn't really die a whole lot, and that probably transitions a little bit to the mid itself. And the thing is, his demo is a pretty typical target that people go for their like a normal mid strategy, like get the demo weak and then kill him. So depending on how he's playing it, that might, kind of change the way that a typical process mid guy might go in terms of target selection. But I'm sure that Ascent is very well aware of the play styles of their opponents, and they probably have something up their sleeve ready for the way they expect Mal to play.
Yeah, at least from since I'm never going to play this team ever again, At least what we did is you just high bomb and you just land on everybody but the med and demo. You kill everyone in, take the high ground, and spam.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to see. I feel like Laz is really going to do that, because Laz doesn't usually commit. He high bombs, fades off, does damage, finds the perfect moment. But player to watch on each team, I'll start off with Mal. I want to see what AIM can do on this map, because he's definitely had some good showings.
I also agree. Like I said before about the Mouse soldiers, I'm kind of watching them for the most part. Not necessarily because I think they'll do really good or really bad per se, but I think especially because the way that you said that you think that is the way to beat the way that Mal plays process mids is to just jump targets that are not like the demo or the medic. Well, soldiers are two of those targets, so if the soldiers on Mal aren't proactive in making sure that they're not targets that can be landed on, it can definitely make or break whether or not an Ascent mid like that would actually work. So definitely agree in the soldier department on them being the players to watch.
Yeah, and on Ascent, I think I already said it. I want to see what Zayler Campy, formerly known as, he's been insane this season so far.
Yeah, and it definitely helps if you have an insane demo man, but we're readied up and we're ready to play the game. First map coming in for this lower bracket semifinal. Take it away, Marmaloo.
All right, first mid, I want to see what bot mode does. Bot mode's kind of weird on Roamer. He's a new Roamer. He just does some weird stuff sometimes, because you don't have all experience. I want to see if he does a fast rollout. He does. Oh yeah, and then both teams kind of fade off. It looks like Ascent is playing really passive along with Mal. No one really taking the point. It is just a spam fest. Lokai taking a lot of damage, and the bomb comes in from Trip on the medic, gets the pick instantly, and now they need to play tight. Bomb mode gets an entry kill onto Alpha. They get cleaned up the players, but now all Mal has to do is just take back with the heals.
That was a really good retreat, going straight on the law guide, no surf whatsoever. But now they're buffed up. Even though the Blues capping this, they might try to post it a little bit early. It seems like they're working their way in to take back this middle point. No, this is ours, they say. They're missing a couple of their respawners. Blue might try to go for a force themselves because they got the forward spawns and red team hasn't, but they've decided it's not worth it. They don't have any form of positional advantage here, so red team takes it right back after retreating all the way back to their 2. So this is going to be an uber-ad situation. Looks like they're peeked around IT, like they might want to go for it. It is spotted by a blue soldier. It seems like they're going to get ready to go lower, but the blue team is already so passive, so as they pop in, only a little bit of damage onto the pocket scout that's building, but not a whole lot of kills. They try to flood through IT, or not IT, through 1 and 2, but no kills will be gotten, but at least the point is expend for that Uber. But blue team looks like they're ready to leapfrog. They're 80% and building up the rest of this Uber ready to go.
It looks like Campy's at least taking one Zayler. I think it looks like they're going to go to lower lobby, having their demo hold 1 and 2. Actually, they went back and bot mode dying there is really questionable. Now they go 1, all the spam can come down, but Mal actually all left. It's just aim in the skybox, clips on the wall, gets picked off, but Phelps is behind. He's going to last. I think they'll be able to stop it, but he pulls everyone back, and now Mal is going to be able to hold second and stall for a little bit longer to get the super, but with 2 players down, Alpha's already in 1 actually. If he gets the right timing,
oh no!
I think they know. They have 2 on last. The Uber comes out, doesn't really get much. That's a really good play by Mal. The scout's definitely buying a lot of time, and now Mal's gonna have
chaos. They're 85.
I don't know why. Okay, he made a bunch of space. Size walking forward, doing a lot of damage. They're gonna refight this point. Laz gets piped. This second fight's basically over for Ascent.
Yeah, this could even be technically free. You have a scout going in really deep. A lot of damage on the Phelps, and Phelps gets dropped. So High Five is gonna be very happy with that because not only does he force the Uber, but he kills a scout in the process. A little bit of a blunder coming out of Bear, but quite unfortunate. But blue team counter-initiating, trying to peek back through these doors, getting good damage, although they're kind of dying themselves. Only later on are they actually able to kill a bunch of the red players, so a little bit sketchy right off the bat, but only 2 red players left alive in the forefront, leaving different directions and 1 rolling out, so blue team, despite it being a little bit sketchy right off the bat in their counter-initiation back into 2, they will be holding on to it after all.
Really good start by the soldiers from Mal, but on the back, Botmo jumps in, kills the demo. I think he killed a soldier or a scout and then leaves. So now it's going to be an even fight on mid. AIM doesn't want to give it up, but everyone already left. So It's going to be mid. Borcent, and now they've Uberad. I'd be expecting a demo bomb through choke. It just feels like a thing they would do, but they're going to take their time. So Ascent's going to be getting this Uber soon, but they're going Al-Qaeda right now.
Yep, they're going the safer play, but it seems like it might be a little bit too long because the red team's at 90, only a couple more seconds, and they're going to get it. They do lose 2, though.
Trip going for a solo play, AIM getting caught, and that's going to be Mal already on their last, turned around instantly from the good start.
And blue team has some picks to work off of. The blue soldiers are already getting ready towards 3 and 5, seeing if they can get a little bit of spam on a gun or maybe bust through, seeing what it looks like. They're poking around, leaving 1 uncapped, seeing if they can get anything off the space, and the gun is going to die, so they have an opportunity now to bust in, as they have a scout already trying to peek through 1 and 2, soldier bombing in, trying to create space, see if they can get any form of force or pick, but it doesn't seem like there's going to be too much happening here, as 1 scout that's not even in dies as he gets spammed by side, peeking through the door, I think door 4 that was, so the initiation wasn't quite what they hoped it would be, and they back up all the way up to 2, unsuccessful sack.
And Mal's peeking lobby, but not going to do anything. The spawner's already coming in. Everyone's getting out. And I don't think there's any off class yet. Actually, nope. Slim ran back and no one held the door. But
defensive
probably
sniper.
another 2-man trying to break it. And Mal loves this position. The gun going down. Good spam by Laz, but may get traded. Just gets out. Now this is an opportunity for a 2-man from bot mode and Slem here.
Now this gun, it's up, but it's in a really passive spot, only level 1, so this bomb coming in from a blue soldier is going to get good damage on the sniper, but he's going to take a nice arrow Phelps's, and he's going to survive through that, so have some counter-initiation coming from Trip, going to be unsuccessful, and that's going to be a 1-for-1, back to another stalemate scenario. I'll have to see if Ascent wants to keep going cookie-cutter classes with how they're attempting to go for this force, or if they're going to pull up anything nasty. Seems like they have someone back at the spawn, so maybe they might want to switch off, and they are going to go for the counter sniper.
The Ascent sniper is on the field. Phelps known. I didn't know him for it, but he was a Highlander sniper at some point, and I think he was decent, but Slem's probably the best sniper we got in here. 6 is invite right now, so I'm excited to see what he does. Haven't seen as many explosive places before, but I feel like he's still got it. Going 1. They should probably know very, very soon. He's taking his first shot really slow around the corner, sees the sniper, gets the body shot, doesn't clean it up.
A little bit of a back and forth here in terms of peeking doors. Red team has to make sure that he doesn't get too deep. If they don't hold this door too hard, they might be able to go swing wide and get someone, but they have a soldier ready to spam it and stuff it out, so seems like Slum's wanting to rotate to a different door, doesn't like one anymore. Seeing what he can see, gets a little bit of damage onto him, but should probably get healed up pretty soon. Getting really low, actually.
A lot of damage. The pipe spam through 3. And it's just going to be... This is probably what you're going to see almost every point of this map. At least looking at these two teams, they both love the sniper, and they both definitely have players that are good at it.
It's also high stakes.
Yeah,
we want to play pretty carefully, because this is playoffs. If you lose, and it's lower bracket too, if you lose, you're out.
That's do or die for that top 2, that grand finals position.
Not only do they have to deal with this sniper, but they also have to deal with this gun. It seems like there's some soldier trading go off in at 5, but both of them are going to get really weak, not necessarily die. Good damage onto Sai. He's not going to be able to hold doors for a moment here.
Oh, yeah, this is an interesting gun they have. They have it so it doesn't shoot 3 and 4, it tries to shoot 2 more. So their med can play on point, can't get sniped from 1, and it's something I haven't seen anyone else really do. With bot mode dying there, it doesn't really mean anything. Maybe a trip counter sack, but it's really late now.
I'd honestly be more afraid of 1 and 2 than 3 and 4, so that makes sense to me, but we are going to get the first pick here. Onto the soldier whose job was to stuff out 1. It's a good snipe by Slum, going to be rotating towards 2 here. Sniper SVS. Not necessarily going to be hitting the marks they want to, so this pick is going to ultimately not really result in too much. A little bit of spam onto the gun, but not necessarily enough to kill it.
The thing is, if Slem wants to swing through 3 and 4, at least he won't get aim punched by the gun. He'll probably get hit by everyone else, but maybe he can go hero shot there, but they're taking their time. They have them in the position they want. The gun going down, they get a pick on the aim, they trade soldiers, but that's always good for the offense. Less people to hold the doors. I'd be expecting a lot more pressure. High 5 getting info through 5. Gets a pick onto the sniper, and now this is going to be free pickings for Slem. Gun going down again, trying to get through 5.
Trip's really weak, has to jump away. But you have soldier initiation coming onto the point. Good damage on the red team despite no kills. Everyone's very, very weak, and good pipes out of Zayler is able to help put the damage they need onto Trip so that it can be cleaned up by a scout. As blue team's walking through 5 right now. They like the picks here. They're trying to work their way in, but they get forced by a soldier coming in, and they're actually going to drop high 5 in the Uber. So even though they're able to successfully cycle the Ubers, this is not something they want to stay in. They're actually retreating all the way back out of IT. They do no longer want to be anywhere near lobby, fear of getting mulched out, as the red team tries to take it for themselves and see what they can see off the scout pick they currently have. They've swapped off their off classes. They have a scout trying to initiate through lower, soldier trying to bomb through 2. Good double soldier bomb in, continuing to make space. The red team is going back and forth, but it doesn't seem like it's being anything fruitful. They're jumping around just back to the same doors that their other teammates are trying to walk through, so they're just eating spam over and over again. That's going to lead blue team to try to walk through 1 here, just barreling in with both scouts forward. Good damage onto the red soldier. A lot of initiation, and with only 2 people left alive, this should be pretty much it unless Sai goes crazy here. Bear does fall in, and that's going to be the first round for Ascent here, 1-0.
Yeah, Mal's bread and butter isn't really that position. It's waiting for the other team to make a big mistake, and the mistake was dropping a scout. And they tried to push out, drop 2 to it, and it just slowly traded players, lost that, and going to mid. Last time it was good for Mal getting their med out, but a lot of damage, and they both played a similar mid. I wonder if Ascent's going to try to do something a bit more active.
Yep, last time they put damage onto the law guy and just went straight on him and killed him and retreated out so they could use their heals to win afterwards. Doesn't seem like it's going to be the same thing this time. This is actually the opposing team. It's Mal that's really weak this time. They have Trip going in, but he's not going to have any follow-up. Just only it comes up barely when it comes to aim, trying to go in as well. But there's not really a whole lot of damage for him to clean up on, so it's just going to end up being red players dying over and over again, which is really unfortunate because that initiation could have led to something, but so many people were hurt on Mal from the initial spam at the first couple seconds of the mid fight that initiating right then was not going to lead to anything fruitful. So 3 drop players is understandable as they retreat all the way back to the last, and now they're back where they were a couple minutes ago. Back to setting up with an engineer and a gun, or engineer and a sniper.
That mid wasn't great. A double soldier. It was 1 soldier, then another soldier. And since they're all the way behind the crate, no one can really help. Trip got a good first rocket, got nothing else. Aim got stuffed, and mid over instantly. They get a pick on Trip, and that's super, super big. If they can get their flank healed up, and they can try and make something, I guess.
Oh no!
2 players.
The soldier bombs in through, I don't know if it was 1 or 2, but it was as the engineer was moving up his gun, he realized, oh no, I didn't support Trip properly with this gun placement, I'm gonna move it up. And as he's picking it up and moving it, the other soldier off of Ascent goes in, successfully gets this force. Mal is just trying to see if they can pull forward and use the picks that they were given to see if they can get anything. They have their sniper in one, but they're going to back up. They realize this is more than they can chew, and they're going to just play it safe and hide up in nest here. Gun still sitting on top of the point this time.
So this is, if you're a top team, you got to get these pushes down full of my team, but I want to see if they get it first try. They pop through 4. They drop a scout instantly. It's not looking great. They get the gun down. They're going to start getting some cap time in a second, but Soldier coming to peel for the cap. On to Psy is bot mode, and it's getting really chaotic, but the player ad is in favor of Ascent. As long as they play these heals, they should win it. They need to focus fire the players. They get aim. It's just the heavy left alone. In no world this heavy ever win.
Not a lot of focus fire despite the early pick coming out of Mal. It was really nice that they had that scout pick early on, but it seems like as soldiers were initiating onto the Uber players of Ascent, they got completely destroyed by Soldier bombing into their own nest and nailing Psy and Bear. So a little bit disconnected is going to lead to Ascent having another round, but we're off to another mid here. Maybe they can switch things up and get something good going for them this time.
Yeah, it looks like Mal's trying to be a bit more proactive on this. Scout already on point. They're going to the right, their own right side. But actually, it looks like it's going to be a double bomb across the point. There goes Trip, nothing. Aim gets in, misses the rockets, and they don't get anything off it but Psy going in as well as Phelps, but Laz on that high ground, just shooting down, and it looks like Logai dies. Logai left alone in the corner, and I don't think in the chat, but yeah.
I'm not liking the focus fire that's coming out of Mal right now. Zaylor was perpetually like 100 health the entire fight from just spam from soldiers and demo men, and actually Trip's gonna die here out on 2. That's gonna be not beneficial for the red team trying to hold 2 here. But it seems like their focus fire is a little bit off. They have another scout running forward and is gonna meet up a soldier, and he's gonna get picked as well. What could have been a fight that Red could have taken is just turned up into bleeding. I don't know if they're having side conversation about that mid. But these deaths, is it going to be another? We have another red scout getting really weak, but no, nice direct. Gonna be able to take him out. So now red team fully fine taking the positioning they have now. Soldier bombs are coming in, but from the red team it's going to be a fake. Also from the blue team, but we finally have some committing going on. They're committing out of the demo, and Sailor is going to die. That's very, very big for Mal. A lot of players dropping out of blue team, see if we can get anything salvaging going on. Psy is going to drop, but I'm sure that, yeah, Alpha's going to be able to clean up that kill. So a dry push coming from Ascent is not going to be fruitful at the end of the day, and Logai's going to die at the very tail end as well. So they're probably not going to have heals up for their second defense, which, even though they've lost their demo, I'm sure Bear and friends are very happy with seeing that they have full Uber and then some.
Yeah, Ascent taking a risky fight, and Mal punishes every time. They're going to start taking this point. They're going to get a last push with Uber at, as long as no one dies to anything weird and kooky.
Sniper's hiding in 2. Oh, he backs up.
Weenie. But I'm expecting probably a 3-4 Uber wherever the gun is, and usually
they got a heavy this time.
Oh, and heavy and gun. Heavy's probably gonna be on the other high ground. It is, and now it's gonna be a rough push. They're gonna ignore the gun, try and go through the left. Doesn't really get much size on the point, and this Uber is looking terrible. The gun is still alive, and Ascent is up top. As long as these double scouts don't cap it instantly, they get the picks. Good sticks by Zaylor, and now it's just aim and nest while bot mode and everyone else gets the kills, and that's a full wipe without dropping the player.
A little bit rushed, unsure where the gun was, just kind of went in blind. Also did not have anyone clear the point in as soldiers tried to make space. No fadeaway rocket onto it to clear it out, making it easy for the scouts. And if that gun dies super, super late, it's going to be hard to get the rest of your team in to really get something good going. So now Ascent's in a nice position here where all they really have to deal with is a sniper in forward, and since he's already pretty weak, they should be relatively free, seeing as red team already lost tons and tons of positioning. So pretty free mid for the blue team, and they still have their Uber. They're ready to go on to the next point. All they got to do is pick a door.
And it looks like they're going IT. I want to see if they do the Mal thing through lower double demo bomb, or they're going to try and go upper and milk it maybe. But they're going to go lower.
It is spotted, but not through lower. There's a trap there. They do see it though.
And this is, you can't give it up and assume they're going to pop, because now this is free. Oh, yep. Aim in. They get the force. Really good damage calls and bomb by aim. So
yeah, he got propelled by bot mode's rocket as well, so that made the jump even better. So blue team poking around the lobby, seeing if they can try to push off the fact that they have a pick, but the gun's still up and they know they have disad, so they're getting the heck out of dodge and going back to the second point. Is red team now they're in the driver's seat, working their way towards the lobby, getting ready to pop out and take back this point that is they think is rightfully theirs.
Slide bomb too low. He doesn't get anything. Bot mode trying to go behind, gonna get killed, but Slem's trying to slip past, gonna get picked up as well soon. And they trade 2, but Ascent's already taking all the ground. Laz in, gets the med, gets a lot of damage on the side, and he gets side 2 with his own roller.
He's 1 HP, just hopping around. Surely he's gonna get killed by a scout. He is gonna eventually die. Blue team still wanting to fight this despite red team getting some respawners in. I think they realized that though, and actually, red team never capped the point. This is still advantageous for blue team because they have respawner advantage over this point. Red scouts need to be really careful as we have Alpha getting really weak down to 16 HP, leaving out, and side dead. Blue team might want to poke around and see what they can do here. They know there's no traps anywhere. There's probably not a gun because they were just on 2. They're trying to push in and see if they can kill Trip. They're Ubering in with their Uber advantage, trying to get this roamer frag. They will eventually do it, but the back cap is going to be attempted by Phelps, but is going to eventually be stopped by bot mode, so this blue fight will continue to go on. Red team has a heavy, so it's really hard to block this point as the heavy is going to eventually get too weak and die. 3 people left alive on the red team, so desperately trying to work their way over to the point to block it with their bodies because they know they have to stand it to live. They're nowhere near Uber, and they're just going to not eventually have enough players to stand on it. And that will be the 3rd round for Ascent, and that'll be the end of the first half here, Marmaloo.
Rap God Jarrett, but that was overwhelming for a Mal map pick, and they're getting beat down. Not much else to say, really.
I'm not sure what is the crux of this issue, but I really do not like Mal's focus firing personally. I feel like they get the knowledge that certain players are weak, and then they initiate, but they're not shooting those players when it comes to fights. And maybe that's partly because it seems like a lot of the time they're doing like fadeaways and stuff, which I think is expected because that's like kind of, I mean, the Mal soldiers kind of did fadeaways and things like that with their bombs the previous time that they played Process. But when they actually commit, it doesn't seem like everyone on the team is on the same page. I mean, part of it could also be because sometimes they're bombing in and everyone's kind of weak, but it seems like we're not going to have too much of a talk here. Everyone kind of is on the same page with all these players in terms of what is going to be changing for this half. Seems like they're confident they know what they're going to change up to try to fix these mids. So we're off to the second half in this first map, BO3 on Process.
I'd like them to try and push left, maybe have a sniper, that'd be fun, but it looks like both teams starting off pretty basic. Both scouts on the high ground already. This isn't looking great already. Half of Mal is still sitting in choke. Aim jumps in. Trip jumps in on the side, gets some damage onto Zaylor, but is going to get cleaned up any second now. But on the side, high five, and the entirety of Mal pushing across the other team's crate, and they took over the mid, and that's what you'd like to see. I wanted to see the left side mid. They get in.
Initiation though, bot mode.
Bot mode doesn't get in. There's no other soldier to help, so all for naught. And it's going to be mid for Mal, and this is what you need, but the problem is the clock's against them. They're down 3-0, 30 minutes left, and they need to start getting something going here.
True, there's a bit of a deficit they have to work against now, even if they do change up their play for the better. They need to make sure that this pace that they're playing at is good enough to make sure that they're able to collect as many rounds as possible. And playing how they've previously played on Process, which is generally pretty passive, playing around like an Alpha or Phelps sniper. 7
Alpha sniper incoming.
Is a viable strategy, but you want to make sure that you don't stay on it too long because you might eat up so much time that you're not able to get the rounds that you need to bring this into a golden cap or win the match. So we'll have to see how long it takes them for them to be able to get a pick here. I'm not sure if they've quite seen the fact that Sniper's staying on top of the crates quite yet. He hasn't shot. I don't know if they've seen it when they've crossed over or not.
I think Lowguy knows. Lowguy's playing in the spot to never get sniped. So
based on their positioning, I think they saw. So if the medic's playing that passive, it's probably up to the red team to try to figure out who is playing aggressive enough where they can actually try to get some sort of like headshot going in on them. Maybe a soldier or a scout. The scout is going to get body shot, not fall yet.
There's the soldier bomb. I'm waiting for the Ascent aggro Uber, maybe the double soldier bomb. They get a lot of damage on side. Bot mode in and lives behind. This is going to pull so many people back, and this is such a good play. They get 2 people looking backwards. They're going to get through choke now. All the way in, getting some damage on a bear. Slem kind of tunneling, but now Mal's trying to take this in maybe, but no, they're just sitting back. A headshot onto bot mode behind, and that's going to probably end most of this last in. Nice force by him, and hopefully Ascent can get out and refight, but nice headshot onto high five. And it's just going to be Slem Campy and Lowguy. They're going to get forced here, try and get these soldier picks. Gets one. And they're getting really split on the super.
Ooh, that's a nice fight. It definitely solidifies their post-Uber positioning. If people would have lived there on the red team, they could have potentially collapsed, and that could have been really bad. But now they have picks to work off of, especially because they know there's a sniper. It's kind of up to Alpha right now to make sure that he can ring something off so these people that are trying to make space for Ascent are dealt with in a timely fashion. But we do have a bomb coming in off bot mode, getting a lot of good damage. It's actually going to take the sniper out, so blue team is able to work their way in without fear of getting a headshot as they try to work the picks they've had. But picks they've had. It's been a little too long. They gain one now, but not without trading their own soldier. So now they're working a 4v4 with a respawn disadvantage. If this goes on for too long, Alpha's going to respawn and be able to be back in time to be able to help these guys, and that's why Mal is so content on staying in and still fighting. Alpha does spawn, he's getting ready to barrel through the choke, and I think Blue's kind of realized that they're losing this war of attrition as they get their scout and medic really alone chased down through IT, and that's going to be picks created. Blue team is going to use their Uber though. I think they've recognized they have like 10 ad because of the Solemn Vow, and they Uber in. They're sacrificing Campy for it potentially, but they are going to get the enemy medic in Bear successfully with their Uber ad. So it's all up to the 2 players left live on Ascent now in Laz and RGLgg to back up to get their respawners. And even though Red might pressure right now, they might be able to hold this as long as they hold out long enough. And it doesn't even look like the Red team and Mal is wanting to do anything with 2. They just want to set up on mid and get ready for the potential push that might come in from Ascent because of the small ad they created from killing the medic.
Yeah, one thing about Ascent that I've noticed throughout the season is they do such a good job of building. So I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe demo bomb through choke again. You know, they got 15 ad, and if they go on the dot, maybe they can catch Bear because it shouldn't be much ad. At most, I think it should have been 10, and looks like they're going to... they thought about IT, but it looks like they're going to maybe try and go choke. They're going to walk through, try and take the ground early while Bear's still building. Get through the choke with 2 people, 3 people in a good bomb from aim. That's going to be Laz down. And Botmode's trying to go for the trade, but it's not happening. Slem dead, Botmode dead, and all Mal had to do is wait for that mistake. They're going to drop high 5 as well, maybe. Yep. And it's just the med and Zaylor. Nice bows from RGLgg and pipes from Campy. They get down Alpha, but back to the last of the even Ubers, and now...
Chase is on. Oh, Trip's gonna cancel it. He's maybe going in. They're gonna have aim going instead. Gonna miss the rocket, but RGLgg was full health anyway, so it ended up not mattering. But you're right. Good play from Mal here. They recognize what they needed to do on mid, and this counter initiation is gonna come in from the blue team trying to get the force as they eventually Uber exchange. But red soldiers are dead. This is not gonna be great for Mal as they eventually realize they have to kind of escape here. They are able to do a little bit of damage onto to Ascent to make sure that they don't take this without losing soldiers themselves, but...
I'm pretty sure Laz wall bugged, so he didn't die of fall damage by Al-Qaeda, and that's crazy, but they do win that fight. It was looking bad because I'm like, Laz is gonna die, and he didn't, and he got damage off.
Phelps says, I think we just got around in chat. But we're back to another even Uber scenario. Alpha and Sniper.
And we're gonna be back to this in 6 minutes off the clock, and they have to wait for Alpha to make something or for Ascent to overcommit to something and hopefully play into Mal's hands. But so far, Ascent hasn't really been biting. It's been 2 soldiers jumping at choke at sewer and just getting pressure out, and they haven't had the choice. Last time, Psy dying at choke alone, and I have a feeling Psy won't let it happen again.
Yeah, they've been in this situation before. Everyone kind of knows what they need to alter. At least I hope they do, in terms of making sure that everything's set and ready to go. Psy is protecting himself. He has stickies high up at the choke, a little bit higher than I would expect it, but it could still potentially do the job for a really high bomb. So I think he's ready to make sure he's living through this. But back up, Sniper in sewer, seeing what he can see. He's not going to see the medic, but might be able to see these soldiers that are trying to stuff the door. Botmode's really weak from trying to expend his health to make sure it's stuffed, but he's going to get a nice arrow up. And blue team, good job being proactive here.
Yeah, they're getting aggro with Zaylor, but he's kind of alone, so if a soldier really wanted a bomb on him, they could, but now backing up a little bit, and they're not giving them a chance to breathe and peek this Sniper. They're just over and over peeking all the doors. Botmode peeking through this Al-Qaeda door, gets a lot of damage on Alpha, and that's going to be another reset on the side of Mal. And the problem with Mal, at least in my opinion, is they don't have a player that breaks stalemates besides a Sniper. They don't really 2-man. It's really just Sniper Spy and just hoping that works, and it's not looking like it's working so far. A lot of pressure on the door again. Both scouts trying to just chip this Sniper so he gets a little bit of hit stun, whatever it's called, aim punch, that's it. And both soldiers already they're all so far up on these doors, they're not going to get a chance. A pipe goes in, kills Alpha, and they're actually just suffocating now.
Yep, that's a lot of time eaten off the clock, and now blue team's in the driver's seat. They're trying to bust through sewer potentially to see if they can get some kills. It was trapped off a little bit though, so that's going to slow them down. We do have initiation coming out of IT instead, and that's going to be the force that they're looking for as red team has to pop because Bear is super low. Helps trying to chase forward, see if he can get any kills or damage, but Bear is out of there. He's too afraid of what might come as we actually have one scout behind in Slem. He's going to be able to get a kill, die himself, but that created enough space to make sure that blue team was able to take this point successfully without using their Uber. So now, not only do they get this point for free, now they're in a good position to be able to take 2 for free because of the picks they've recently got. So they're working their way through Al-Qaeda here. Hopefully for their sake, their plan is to not use here, but we'll have to see how Red decides to say anything about that. As they are getting the respawners, they might show up eventually.
Yeah, they're taking this point so far. They get a pick on Trip. That's huge, but Slem is insane. Botmo jumps in, gets the force. Slem goes behind, pulls 2 soldiers back, somehow isolates a 1v1, and then they just take mid off that. And now Ubers are going to be evening out, and I want to see how Ascent wants to break this. Do they want to try and 2-man into a Slem sniper, or just keep peeking and just pressure cook them, as everyone says nowadays? But no gun up. It's just heavy sniper.
Yep. Seems like once they know that, I feel like Ascent will probably eventually just do a 2-man, especially because there's no gun. Gun is much stronger than a heavy, at least in my opinion, but it's going to take them a bit to try to figure out what they're going to do. They have to spot, they have to buff up, figure out how Mal is holding this. They are going to try to initiate in the lobby to get that information, but it is going to be held down successfully. But sneaking through one, Slem's on a rampage, getting one, not going to be able to find another, as he's able to be taken down by a body shot from Alpha, but that's going to be their 2-man, but at the very least, they can kind of know what's going on in terms of how Mal is trying to hold. Trip try to do some of this sort of counter stack into an IT, but Alpha with the body shot on the Law guy is going to successfully get them. The Trip, I think, distracted enough to make sure that the doors weren't being watched properly, so swinging through, nailing that shot, and that's going to be a full ad for Bear as they're getting ready to get their players and come through lobby here.
Yeah, all eyes on Trip. They peek one, Alpha gets the body shot, and they're going to get this point for free, it looks like. Everyone on Mal passive, but there's a sniper in the Al-Qaeda door. Slem is just waiting for his moment to peek. Gets the body shot into aim, I think. Trying to shoot these scouts on point, but a lot of damage.
Good damage from bot mode, just in upper IT, not contested whatsoever. Now both soldiers are behind here. Seems like they're going to be able to successfully get the cap Red is, but both 2 soldiers behind give reason for blue team to try to push forward a little bit. Only unfortunate thing is it's a med demo, so they're probably playing pretty safe themselves, so when I have 1 soldier going down, it seems like the second one's going to fall very soon, and that's going to be Laz and bot mode dead. Bought a little bit of time, though. Made sure that they can maybe get some players up in time to get their Uber, but actually might not be enough, because red team's not even worried about getting re-healed. They're just going to yoink the health packs all over mid to make sure they can take this in time. Blue team, though, they recognize their ad. They're trying to fight this. Just high ground control from Mal as Blue Scouts are trying to take it back. Not quite everyone here yet on Ascent. They are going to get their Uber soon, Marmalou, so they're getting ready to look through one of these doors and potentially go through once they've chewed Mal backwards.
It looks like they're trying to go through choke. I don't know if it's going to be a triple bomb, and it looks like it is. Demo bombs in, and they should be able to maybe catch Bear. Good damage from Zaylor, and now they get aim as well, and this looks like it should be around the taunt from Zaylor. I don't know if there were some messages exchanged in chat, but that's a really, really good Uber and catching him off.
And with the med dead, there's incentive for you to dry push right now just off better buffs. I mean, there's a sniper, that's kind of scary, but they're getting a lot of damage on this heavy, forcing him back into spawn, and Side's going to drop as well. He's playing relatively unsafe, and that's going to prevent him from being able to block the point, but there was not very many people alive anyway. It was just like a 6v4, so it's kind of a lost point at the very end, but this could potentially be match point. Ascent's been kind of on a roll. There's been some slower moments, but it all comes down to these mids for the most part and setting the pace. We've seen Mal change their mids before, and it led to something nice, but do we actually have a pause here before we go on to the first mid?
Yeah,
Crossing fingers, it's attack pause and not a network pause.
Yeah, I don't want a high five water on keyboard because that took way too long. But yeah, if Mal needs to get back in this game. They have about 18 minutes to get 5 rounds and not drop any. So they need this win desperately. They hopefully they need to roll this round, hopefully. Of course, you always hope for it. Get the med, keep your med alive. But I don't know, these mids, last time it was a hard left mid where they had 2 soldiers jump in, or at least 1, and it's on pause instantly. And it looks like bot mode almost gets the salvage onto side, but that may be a really, really good opening for the side of Mal. Both soldiers jumping in, trip in, juggling the med, getting behind, and everyone should be able to get off that. Really good serves from Lol Guy and lives. But
successful mid.
Yeah, but Lol Guy's super weak, and aim goes off of that, and that's what you want to see, just like you always hope.
Really good initiating. So now they're in a nice position. They have Slem trying to peek their IT. He's pushing forward. He's able to kill Phelps. He's on the med. Bear's really, really weak. Red health, trying to get pistol down. Is going to successfully live. Sailor bombing in, seeing me get anything, but it seems like Bear knows better than that. He's going all the way back towards the health pack. So Sailor barely gonna escape, 20 HP. He's gonna reach back to his med, and Bear's gonna maintain his Ubrad to be able to push into 2. And with the picks that Ascent gave them trying to go so deep to try to get that force, it seems like this is gonna be relatively free, clearing the traps on point, and they're in a pretty nice spot to have an opportunity to get their first round on the board in this BO3.
Yeah, they're already going. They're not waiting for the cap. They're trying to peek through 4. They pop through on the demo, trying to get the gun down. They do get it. Stick still on the point. They can't even cap. They don't have second yet. And Ascent's in a really, really good spot. Now it's just going to be a 6v6 fight. Hopefully someone can get from the flank. A lot of damage on the Phelps. Trip's not in the fight. Cap time coming in. Not enough aim in on the heavy. And Psy's just capping. And that is how it starts.
Ascent held that for so long, and it was such a good job of what they were doing until the very end when there's only 2 people left alive and Psy just solo caps. So
yeah,
I mean,
that's happened a lot for Mal, where everyone, they lose the fight and they just cap. That happens so much on Process, at least.
Yep. So far, Mal's been on a roll for these mids. We'll see if they can do the same thing this time. Nice pipe on the bot mode, but I don't think it's going to lead to a death.
On the trip? Oh. That was an insane mid.
Yeah, and that's going to immediately end all the air shots in the world. Is going to immediately be like, no, we're done. We're not doing that mid. We're leaving. This is over. And they go all the way back to 2. And blue team, they want to push off the trip pick. They're leaving 1 and continuing to poke around Al-Qaeda, see if they can make any space, but nice damage onto High 5 is going to thwart that. Counter initiation jump onto the soldier in aim, who's going to get caught on the fence, taking a lot of damage, 12 HP, going to barely live. He has to get arrowed up, but blue team knows he's really weak and might have some room to work still. We do have bot mode trying to go behind and see if he can get trip. He's going to fail, but Slem is already behind himself, is going to continue to get that kill in. Break a 1v1, successfully killing Phelps, trying to get the pack and continuing distracting even more so for his team. So now Blue's in a good position here with having more players alive in the red team to be able to get a successful force potentially. All
one on Bear gets the force out, and Logai's going to keep the super, but that was just trade after trade, and Slem putting Happy Cool in the dumpster.
Yeah, Slem keeps taking 1v1s and he keeps winning them. Red team's going to try to pressure forward off the fact that, you know, they have some more players ready, but not for long, as blue team only takes a couple seconds for them to get the respawners and get to this point. Worst case, they do have an Uber. Oh, nice directs.
Oh,
even more nice directs out of bot mode. Goodbye, Alpha, he says. Well, not actually in chat, but at least from my perspective.
Nope, lol.
Okay, no, yeah. I expect that something was going to be said. Drops a lol in chat. And now they have had to work through IT here, it looks like. Marmalou, it is spotted by Trip. We'll have to see how it's executed with Alpha being dead, though.
Yeah, they're trying to go through lower. They pop through this time. It looks like nothing is really going to be caught. All the soldiers get out. Everyone's gone. But a lot of damage actually onto Psy. And it doesn't look like it's going to be followed up on. And now it's going to be a leapfrog situation with Mal having the choice of trying to get out with the super at it. And last time they went through lower lobby.
Mode's chatting up in lobby. Not going to win the 1v1 though.
in the, on the bookshelf spot. I don't think that's how it works, Alpha. But types low back. But it looks like Mal's going to go through 1 with 4 people. So
I think Slem gets this.
He
definitely
if he gets the
this.
right timing, I think Phelps is aware. Phelps is looking for it, but I think Slem. He's a little bit late though. Someone needs to stop cap, and bot mode's also on Spy. They didn't stop in time. Slem waited way too long. Now this could be a round loss here. Slem down, and it's all on if bot mode Spy can get anything here. Because this is going to be 3 down, and it doesn't get anything. He's fighting Happy Cool and just revolvers him, and Phelps is not having a good day. Not his day.
Although, at least the sloppy execution coming out of Ascent and their backcat plays and spy plays is going to leave them potentially in a bad spot here, as they don't necessarily have players ready to chase this Uber. They are going to get Psy because he's a little bit too far forward, so that is going to be a bit of a saving grace, and they are going to collect on their soldiers. So red team a little bit too far forward in their sack attempts. So now Ascent is going to be able to use the players they've collected now on Mal to try to push this second point, because mid is theirs. Zayler's going to get popped up in the air and cleaned up by Phelps, so not without Phelps dying himself, and it seems like despite Zayler's death, they're going to have enough damage put out to be able to pretty much wipe most of Mal as they're getting ready to bust through lobby to continue to work off the picks that they've collected as they bust through 3 and 4 right now.
Nice
good double soldier initiation.
But the spawners are coming in any second now, but the 2 picks coming, and this should be game. Unless Phelps and Trip are just the greatest of all time, and it looks like it's not happening. It looked like it for a second, but that is game 5-1. Clean 4. For Ascent, and I think that's what Sambless said in the podcast. So, congrats to him, but he's not here. And yeah, I don't know how much better Viaduct's gonna be.
You know, especially because Viaduct is very, very reliant on the things. At least in my opinion, it didn't seem like um, Mal was doing to the best of their ability. I think an important thing to think about is, like, besides whatever shows up on the logs, is making sure that everyone's on the same page. And it seems like for a lot of the dry fights, a lot of the target selection was a bit off. And then some of the backwards transitions were kind of sketchy too, where they would lose too many people trying to leave, but and they were distracted a bit too much. But you're right that in the aspect of Viaduct might be kind of sketchy because Slem's been pretty hot this game, taking 1v1s and just straight up winning them. And that's definitely something that if you bring in the Viaduct, it's not going to be a fun time to play against. So we'll have to see what they can do to counter that and make sure they're spaced out correctly to help anyone that Slem tries to bully and take a fight against.
I said this earlier in the podcast, but if I'm Mal, and if you lose the first round and it's not looking good, Alpha Sniper, Trip Scout, and just play passive. Because Sai said many times he does not like this map, and I think if you play a lot more passive where it's going to be people jumping into the sniper instead of Sai, and he can sit back on the slope a little bit farther and just try and shoot the point, take things one thing at a time. And it's going to be a lot on, if Alpha does go sniper, if he needs to hit his shots, or if Phelps goes sniper, either one.
Definitely, if you have a sniper on Viaduct, you definitely want to make sure that he's hitting his shots, because it's not like Highlander where the fact that one exists is enough to prevent people from playing aggressive. You have a lot of mobility on all the classes on your team to be able to try to go behind, especially at the highest level of TF2, where it's very easy to go behind in a couple of jumps as long as you're not stuffed by a scout or anything like that. So there's answers to a sniper being run, and it's why a lot of teams will use it as like a surprise or last ditch effort, or only if they're really confident in it. So we'll have to see if they're using the sniper as a stalemate breaker, or do they really think that that's going to be the thing that wins them the game. Because so far it's been, at least, like Alpha or Phelps being run on sniper in the past couple of matches they've been playing, has been more of a like, all right, we're in a stalemate, let's just run this and play this slow. But Viaduct, you can't really play slow because you have to play against the clock. So I'm not sure if that's going to alter their strategy and make it so that they don't necessarily want to run sniper anymore, or if they're going to be really hinged on it and be like, okay, no, this is how we're going to win if we're going to win, so we need to do it.
Yeah, but look at the stats from last map. Really just a flank difference, you know, at the top of damage, Slem bot mode. Slem going 30-16, Campy going 18-3. Bot mode's KD's not looking too pretty because he was sacking, but he's on Roamer 19-26, 278 DPM, and 4 mids to 2 on the side of Ascent, and just an overall dominating performance.
Yeah, sorting this by damage in logs.tf does not look very pretty either, because you can definitely see that pretty much everyone on Red's spare, like Phelps, who's playing Combo Scout, took more damage than pretty much everyone on Blue. So it's definitely not a sight you want to see when it comes to playing in a lower bracket semifinal match. So especially when it comes to Viaduct, that's even more spam. It's less about playing a transition correctly or going for like a super particular play. It's a lot comes down to DM. So if they're not winning these DM fights now, you gotta wonder what they're gonna do for Viaduct, because it's gonna be even more important than ever.
The thing, if Mal does run Cookie Cutter, I really want to see how they break things, because I don't know, Trip hasn't been the best like way to break these like disadvantage. The other team has point, you need to make something happen, get behind, and I don't know, they need to be a lot more proactive with a lot of these things, and that's what I'm looking forward to hope. But Laz, Slem, Zaylor on this map, those three plus anybody probably could win a match, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Plus Lol Guy with the insane mechanics, bot mode, no slouch either, showing it in that last map, and high five as well. This is like a team built for Viaduct. They have all the DM, they have good Viaduct players, and I don't know, I want to see them try and put together.
I would definitely agree. I like looking at the Ascent roster, I can't think of one player that would be like upset about the idea of playing Viaduct. Like at the very worst, players might be like, "Oh, okay, that's fine. Like I can work with that." But there's probably some players that are especially happy to be playing this map. Even more so, one thing to note as I've looked through like the bans that Mal has done in the past when it comes to picking maps for this BO3. When they do their bans, they ban Koth every single time, both times, which is not, it's not great for them if they didn't want to play it in the first place, and now they're stuck in a scenario where they have to. So we'll have to see what they pull out. But it looks like we are going to be going live here. So we're hitting the second map. of this BO3 Ascent versus Mal. Normally, why don't you take the first mid?
And Sai's on scout, Phelps is on demo right off the bat. Let's see how this starts out. I want to see what Laz does here on this first mid. You know, he's a crazy guy. He flies around in the skybox all the time. It looks like both teams playing on their own side. Double soldier bomb from Mal in. Trip instantly gets cleaned up by Slem, but a trade onto Zaylor, and they also get high five. They're trading 2 for 2, and now 3v4 on the side of Ascent, actually. Mal taking that first mid. Maybe this is the strat. I don't know. Sai Scout, at least playing against him on clear cut, he was definitely better than Phelps at Scout on clear cut. No offense to Phelps, but he was destroying. And I want to see, maybe that's the X factor they needed here. And it looks like it's going to be even Ubers. Ascent trying to take it in. They don't quite have yet, but both teams waiting, and Bear's going to get forced on the slope, pop out back from Low Guy. And this isn't looking good, but the flank is overrun. 4v4, Ascent all on the point together. Laz gets onto aim, and now it's just Sai behind who gets found out and dealt with by Low Guy.
With only 2 players left alive, that's going to be a successful retake coming out of the red team.
Yeah, but 20 ad, and it looks like Mal should get forced out here if they want to commit. But Phelps baiting a trap, nothing else really happening, but Mal's going to break through grass, and there's the alpha sniper that we were talking about.
Yep, seems like they're going to be favoring it. They're trying to use it to see if they can get anything going, but Ascent, very good job of recognizing that they don't want to let this sniper take shots and shots and shots. They're going to recognize the flanks a bit weak and try to get some good damage onto them, and they're actually going to kill Sai in the process too, so now with no demo, they're even more have an incentive to try to continue to push forward, able to kill the sniper, not without losing their own soldier themselves though, so successful hold from them for this dry fight, and that's going to give them enough time to get their Uber, so next time Blue approaches, they should be in a pretty okay position, at least from their perspective.
Yeah, but Blue wasn't building, so that's going to be a bit more time off the clock. Alpha off sniper didn't work, got seen through, they pushed flank like you said immediately, and now Phelps trying to take it forward. If Low Guy can spot the other med, they should be able to maybe get a med pick. They're going to get Phelps down, and now a soldier in on the right side, doesn't really get much, and so much damage. Another soldier on the Bear. Bear doesn't quite get it. That's going to be the end of that fight, unless Sai hits every shot and doesn't get hit, but it doesn't happen, and Portal's not going to happen, at least. The silver lining for the side of Mal, but we're going to have Disad again.
Yep, that Uber gave them the space they needed to collect the kills. It's unfortunate from their perspective that they lose too, so Mal isn't going to have to play against some sort of forward hold. They are going to be able to bust through, and actually a lot of damage on the Campy. Zaylor, he has to back up a little bit, so have to hold even more passive now. So Mal has some space to work here in this dry fight. They have Disab, but it's not going to come into play quite yet. Sally's getting really weak, has to get re-healed, and it seems like there's superior damage coming out from the Ascent side onto the Mal side as they're trying to desperately push forward. Nice pipes from Zaylor, 1-2 straight into Phelps. That's going to immediately kill the blue team's demo man as they desperately try to see if they can back up and escape with even more lives. 2 HP left on aim as they're backing up. Trip trying to counter-initiate onto the red shoulder that tried to chase him down, and they are actually able to kill 1 soldier, which could be nice for them in this upcoming exchange, I would imagine. Bear's not going to take too long to get Uber, so they're coming out cliffside right now to get ready to try to push off the kill that they've gained recently.
Yeah, player ad for Mal for this little bit of time, and they're going to take it forward, trying to go across the non-caution side by the boxes. No Uber out. Trip instantly gets a pick on high five and gets the force. This Uber should be so much better from Mal, but
Slem behind.
Slem's getting behind him. And it looks like Sai's trying to take a 1v1 versus Slem. And a 2v1, nice shot by bot mode. And now 2 people behind. And this is going to be a pincer any second now. Both soldiers in. Bear gets collapsed on, and everyone is just getting blown up. And it's just Phelps and Trip left. Phelps getting dealt with, and now Trip for the salvage. Nice first rocket. Second one, not hitting, and a taunt from Lol Guy. 10 seconds, and it's going to be a little bit more time because this cap time, but it's not looking good.
The play right there coming out of the Ascent flank creates enough space to allow them this position. Zaylor is going to die trying to stuff them, but I think he's okay with that as long as he slows them down long enough. But I think he might have miscalculated a little bit on making sure that they wouldn't be able to approach the point, but enough damage is done where it does not matter. And Ascent Blazing 2 do not care. They own the point. They take that, and they take the first round in this second map.
Yeah, but it looks like they're keeping the same roster, no sniper, and last mid started out pretty good, double bomb, and it was just Trade City, but then 3v4. Now won the mid, Ascent down, and now bomb instantly from bot mode, bumps his head, gets behind, and it looks like they're going to be waiting for bot mode to come back in, which he gets on the Bear, gets the pick. Slem deals with Trip, and now Really good bomb from AIM, getting onto Logai, almost killing Zaylu, but mid in favor of Ascent, even Ubers.
It's a really nice initiation coming out of Ascent, collapsing into the team of Mal while they were behind their rock. Tons of damage is going to come out and prevent them from being able to push forward, especially because their med died immediately. Sai going in is going to successfully kill High Five as he drops a don't in chat. So that's a pick they could be using because it's going to take a bit for High Five to respawn. The team's pushing forward a little bit, see if they get some cap time. Mind the traps on the fence. He's going to have to jump away as the rest of his team is getting ready to address pushing the flank. We have some initiation coming in over on the flank side, but double soldier bomb coming in. Oh! The initiation is completely thwarted. They are able to successfully kill the demo though at the very least, so that's both red soldiers down. Their health is too poor. And there's a little bit of an opening for the blue team. They are going to lose a scout at the very end in Alpha, but they're still trekking on with the damage they've done. Trip, weak himself, has to back up a little bit. And red team, they still want to spam this. Trip is going to get eventually pistoled down because he wasn't healed. Asai desperately tries to go in and make some space, maybe get the med. And Logai is going to die. He just barely two-shots him and then pistols it down a little bit, drops it too easy in chat. So nice picks coming from Mal here. Although this does seem like they're going to be backing up a little bit, playing safe, making sure that Bear stays alive, and they're just going to let Red recap.
Yeah, just really good solo play from Sai. Like I said, I think Sai's honestly better than Phelps at Scout on Koth, to be honest. But huge ad on the side of Mal. They're going to take it forward unless someone gets dropped here. They should be able to get this point back and maybe milk this even. They're going to get on point with both scouts. A lot of cap time, a lot of pressure.
Taking a lot of damage.
Oh, yeah, so much damage everywhere.
Too. They're not taking initiative, and this is going to make them so weak that they're not able to pop on their own accord. They have to pop because of their health. They're desperately trying to get kills, and they're able to get one, but not without losing two themselves. So this post-super positioning is going to be so terrible that they're going to immediately die right afterwards as their medic and demo immediately drop. Only two people left alive. Sai desperately trying to get something good going, but he's not going to be able to be successful, and Trip, already so passive, not able to successfully follow up with his team, is just going to go back to spawn and reset a little bit. So unsuccessful execution coming out of the Uber ad, which is unfortunate for Mal, and they're now in a position where the other team has Uber Ascent is ready to go.
Alpha
so
sniper.
They have to go for some sort of force
ad.
attempt. Yeah, but yeah, you're right. They have a sniper, so they want to be playing this fast-paced and potentially getting a pick. But the soldier bomb is immediately going to come in on the Alpha. He is going to die, but not without trading out Alpha, which is they're okay for. They're going to go ahead and Uber in, losing both the soldiers, but they're going to be able to clean up Bear, which is what they want. They're trying to chase down as many players as they can. One of them coming out from Slem and Sai outside of the Mal main entrance, and Slem is going to win that. He's going to be chased down a little bit and cleaned up by AIM, which is beneficial for Mal as they're going to be able to respawn faster and take that fight. But overall, a successful defense coming out of Ascent here. They'll have to go for try two though. They're trying to barrel in as they know that Campy is down. Initiation coming from bot mode, getting a little bit of damage, trying to have some follow-up coming in from Laz, but that's going to be unfruitful. Just red health soldiers, even though they're still alive. And Ascent is going to fail at the second try that Mal takes, defending the point.
Yeah, but Mal's switching to crits. They got crits ad here. That's going to probably be like 25% ad. And it's going to be most likely a Phelps demo crits on those stock pipes. I haven't seen those in a very, very long time. And they're going to take it straight through caution. Pop the crits, misses both the targets, and this crits is an absolute disaster.
Able to get one. Able to get two, but not without losing one of their own people. As we have both Ascent players behind over by Concrete and May, and it seems like they are eventually going to fall. And Sai's going to be able to clean up too, so even though the crits wasn't too successful in the very beginning, the two scatter gun kills is going to be enough, plus the chaos created to be able to help them hold on to this. But now they're in a weird scenario. They have crits, and they're not able to have any form of vulnerability when the red team comes in here with their Uber. A lot of initiation coming in really early on from scouts on the red team, trying to make some space, but they know they're going to get their Uber really soon as they're popping in immediately, catching out the demo, and the blue team desperately tries to back up and make sure they can get crits in time. No invulnerability though, so not able to save any players as they continue to drop more. And now red team have all their players up. Seems to be a 1v1 going on, constant action happening, and they're able to trade a kill at the very last second, but I'm sure red team is ready to try to stuff this crits that Mal is going to eventually attempt to do.
Missing one soldier, they're probably not going to try as hard, but a lot of damage on Phelps. Phelps down. A lot of damage, and now it looks like Mal's going to come through with the crits, trying to get onto these players, but nothing really is connecting. A bit of damage onto Logai, but nothing comes from that crits. A lot of damage back in. High Five's behind. They're all committing into Logai. Logai's probably should be picked. High Five can't quite get onto Bear, and now it's going to have to be some salvage from the side of Ascent if they want to try and make something happen, which It looks like they don't. They're gonna wait for their spawners, which is the right play, the safer play. But once again, Mal, crits ad 50% ad here, and now last time the Phelps crits didn't look too good, but if they can bait players in and get some scout kills, it should be good.
They're starting to approach now. They have to play this fast because they're 90% crits, so you have to be really careful here being bunched up all across the side of the rock. They are able to scout crits across the point. No counter nuking quite yet, but it is coming now from bot mode as he tries to spam them as they're approaching into main. Good damage onto Ascent. They are able to eventually get bared, but not without expending so many of their own lives. There's only 2 people left alive in high 5, and as Sailor actually does go down, so they are able to, you know, even though they lose their team, they are able to successfully kill Mal's Demo and Medic, which in the long term is pretty nice because now they're getting their respawners. They should be able to push without fear of traps or any buff players or anything like that for this upcoming dry push.
Yeah, AIM getting, I think, the end of that crits, just catching Lol guy out. High 5 going down, and this is actually a really, really good spot for Mal. As long as AIM doesn't get picked, and they get another kill onto Laz, and now Mal's sitting on the point. Ascent has to touch it. Pick instantly onto bot mode. Slem getting dealt with, and that is a round for Mal.
Seems like they finally figured out their groove on Viad and how they want to play it, especially with this class swap. Happy cool demo main?
I think it's more so Psy Scout, man. I've seen some insane plays from that man, but once again, I don't know. Are they on crits again? I think they are. They're sticking with it. It did work out for them, and they're going to keep going with it. And now Ascent really has to try and get something going before this crits comes out.
Yeah, if they play this passive, they could get their crits in time way before Lol Guy is able to get his Uber. They just need to make sure they're not out DM'd. 2 red health players on Mal. Blue Soldiers are trying to counter-initiate. Good damage onto Slem, but it seems like bot mode's trying to distract on his own now. AIM is going to fall, but so many weak players coming out of Mal. Bear is going to eventually drop. Same with Phelps, and there's only a fraction of their team left alive on their own half of the map, so that's going to be a successful mid-fight coming out of Ascent. Good attempt at trying to play passive in time to build the crits, but it seems like the damage output coming from Ascent was just too much. So now they're in a nice position where they have full Uberad, point control, and they're getting ready for whatever Mal tries to throw at them to try to get this force.
Yeah, so Bear's still on crits, and now they have to try and 4-man. Hopefully, it looks like there's 1 soldier, there's 2. Trip behind, and they're waiting. Phelps in deep, on the low guy, and gets the drop. That is crazy. The sticky pipe sync.
Yeah. So that's going to be a successful drop. You're able to get bot mode as well, so they're going to be extra happy with that. A soldier's not going to be ready to put out extra pressure and spam as they get their respawners and get buffed up and try to approach re-pushing this point with their full Uber advantage.
Kind of unfortunate they have crits here, because they can get punished for this. Yeah, it's on crits still, I think.
Oh, okay, still crits.
Yeah, so
yeah, it is.
They can get blown up here. As long as the soldiers can get in clean, this could be bad for Mal, but it looks like they're taking it clean. Sticky, nice sticky onto, and there's just absolute destruction. The crits does not work out. Good sticky from Phelps, but they all piled up and got smashed.
Short term, not really that great. Think about it long term though, they respawn faster. They're already up and ready to be able to get ready to push this point. Meanwhile, red team has no buffs. They're going all the way back to spawn to make sure they can ferry Lol Guy all the way out to mid to get the rest of their players buffed up. And Campy and the red soldier have to back up a little bit. Blue team's gonna get some good positioning here to try to retake this point. And if they can lock this down, they could retake it, but almost trying to go in and create some space, trying to air shot Alpha, gonna be unsuccessful, and it's gonna be a successful retake.
Yeah, health not great onto bot mode, so the initiation's probably not going to come in. And it's just slowing down, and the crits ad for Bear is coming up. Ascent has to do something, and AIM body blocks Laz, gets traded for it, but is it worth it? The crits is at 80%. Ascent taking back the point, and now it's going to be all on the Phelps crits once again. It worked sort of last time.
Yep, getting ready for it. Could pop at any moment. It seems like it's going to be really soon. Getting ready to drop off. They crits off. First sticky flies out. Barely misses Lol Guy. Not really going to be able to do anything with it. They know
no one's on the map.
Phelps has been trying to crits, and yeah, pretty much no one's left on the map. But bot mode is behind. He successfully killed Trips. They're going to bring 2 back to try to clean him up, and that's going to give Ascent the space they need to get back onto this point and make sure they maintain it. So really good play coming out of bot mode, going behind and dragging eyes back, because now not only does Ascent keep the point, but they also have an Uberad to be able to go back into Mal here if they get a little bit too close.
And I have a feeling they're going to pull the trigger very, very soon, where just going to be a demo bomb flying in. The Bear's playing really passive, not healing anyone. Zayler in and Bear is caught. The only thing is hopefully they can recollapse, but with Phelps going down and everyone back together on the point, it's not looking likely at all. Psy getting dealt with, and now it's just AIM behind, and Alpha in front.
Yep, no scout speed's gonna lead to Bear to death, and
Oh wait,
Phelps
Trip's
is
on
gonna
Cliff.
eventually
Oh.
fall after. Yeah, Trip is behind, is gonna get taken out. 1v1 coming out of Alpha and High Five. Seems like High Five's only, he wants to sort him. Meat Shot though gonna thwart that, and actually High Five's gonna die coming from a bomb of aim. So blue team's using the picks that they gained despite the failed push prior to be able to push this. They know that red team's not quite all here yet, as red is slowly backing up. Small amounts of spamming still going on, but Slem's gonna die, and they're gonna realize that this is a little bit more than they can deal with right now, and they're gonna go ahead and back up and regroup themselves, getting ready for another dry fight. But we still on crits. We still are on crits, so Bear's gonna have a crits out here. Gonna be another scenario where they're critsing in, but this time they own the point, so we'll see how they deal with it, if they use immediately or not.
Yeah, they need these crits to work, because as soon as they slip up once, it's going to be round for Ascent. A crit's coming in, Sticky off. Zaylor, good jump away, juggling the Sticky. They get a pick onto High Five, which is probably going to make this fight a little bit longer. Going to have to wait for that Uber. Slem's trying to take a 1v1 with Alpha. Alpha warding him off, and he's going to actually get out and get behind the Uber coming in from Low Guy right now. I want to see what they do. Alpha in main, they get Trip. Alpha's still behind. I don't think they're going to deal with them. They're just going to go straight forward. Bot mode behind, they get onto Phelps, and he should be cleaned up. They get Bear, and this fight should be in favor of Ascent, and half 2-1 Ascent, unless I'm calling a bit too early.
Nah, that should be it. There's no overtime. It's just Psy, unless Psy gets like a 3k right now, and that's not gonna happen. That's gonna be it. Ascent leading the half.
Yeah, just overall, that class switch, honestly, I want to see these logs. I want to see who was doing work. Because Psy was definitely doing good in the first half, and then Phelps kind of had some crazy plays in the second half of that game. Okay, he went 5-17, so
yeah. Slem,
maybe...
on the other hand, is going 27-6. That is definitely a stat that you want to see out of a flank scout on your team.
Phelps did 220 and took 400 DPM. That is insane.
Yeah, that's a stat you don't want to see.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Yep, we talked about it before. Viaduct is a very, very DM-heavy map. It's slightly, I mean, there's strategy involved, but it's different than 5CP strategy, so you kind of have to apply your team differently. And it's definitely showing that Ascent is being slightly more dominant here. But, you know, despite what's happening overall, Mal did take that round. If they can take whatever they did in that second round, that gave them the point on the board, then maybe they can come back here. But it does seem like overall, if you had to pick one team that's in a bit of the driver's seat, it is definitely going to be Ascent.
Yeah, Bomb Mode was behind that entire mid. The double Soldier Bomb almost worked, but just barely didn't get any of the kills. And now it's going to be crits again from Bear, but Uber coming in any second now from Low Guy. One player disad going to be done soon, and I want to see how Ascent wants to play. So do they want to wait for the crits to come out and rely on the reaction time, or are they just going to go straight in? It looks like they're going to take it in to the side, and Bear is kind of caught, but there's no one else with this Uber, so Bear's going to get out. They're going to get one soldier, and that's about it. They get a trade. Both soldiers jumping in. They're not going to get Alpha down, actually. They're going to kind of secure this door. Crits out on the side.
Phelps is in. He jumped in all the way to point. He's able to successfully kill a soldier. He's still creating chaos, and they're not going to be able to deal with him. The crits does come out. They are able to kill one, and that's going to be enough kills coming out of Mal to be able to retake this point here, even though they had to use the crits.
And,
Good initiation
more
coming in.
Chaos, yeah. Psy going down. Trip looks like he should be going down any second now. He does. 2 down. Another Alpha Sniper aims on concrete, trying to kill Slem. Counter bomb from bot mode, and just a sniper demo med back on their own cliff.
Yep, going a little bit too deep there, and it does seem like Alpha's going to eventually die. They are able to kill Zaylor. I think that was... Zaylor just die of fall damage.
I feel like he headshot him before he
him?
jumped. I don't know. I thought the death was pretty quick. It was either he jumped as soon as he got headshot or that.
Well, either way, that's going to be a demo man dead, so he's not going to be there to help spam as Trip tries to go in, but unsuccessful at blocking. But blue team knows that with 2 people on Ascent dead, they definitely want to try to take use of that, especially because they have their crits ready to go. They're going to use it off on a soldier, and Ascent's going to immediately counter pop, saying, you're not going to kill any of our players. We're going to make sure we're all alive and safe and ready to be ready for this post fight. As we have Trip trying to come in for the post, getting on Zaylor on the cliff. Not going to be necessarily successful, and he's going to eventually die, so red team only necessarily losing a couple for the hold of this point, which is good short term, but now Mal's in a position where they get their faster respawners and they might be able to work something aggressively. But as I say that, they still have the sniper. He's set up on cliff, trying to see what he can see, and playing a slow pace here is going to allow the red team to eventually get their soldier back. So it's probably going to be a 6v6 scenario again.
Yeah, bot mode already in. They know there's a sniper. He kind of just shot at the sky, but gets down. But a little bit too late. Zayler down. High five down. And it's getting really chaotic, and this crits ad is going to be coming in about like 10 seconds or so. And bot mode behind again, trying to get on the bear. Gets one and sinks on the med. Logai does slip out with Laz, and that's going to be a huge ad.
And they cap and extend their spawns too, so now they don't even get their spawns ready to go for this fight.
Oh no, Sai got levitated by high five. He
is able to collect the kill. Yeah, that's something at the very least. We'll have to see what Alpha can do here as the last person that's anywhere near the point.
Oh,
he's able to get really deep.
Logai accidentally bumped the rocket, but he missed the shot, but he hits the next one, gets the force out, and gets behind. This is a really good play. Stalls out a little bit, but Ascent, Mao can't really do much off that, to be honest.
They were all respawning, and here they come. Down a scout, but they're ready to do a dry fight. They do have ad, but it's not going to come into play quite yet as they're trying to push their way up the slope. We have AIM trying to make some space by jumping around, but bot mode is counter-initiating onto Trip, and it seems like they're just completely pushing concrete. A lot of good space being made onto the red players, very, very weak as they're able to drop Psy and eventually lose AIM as well, so that's going to immediately thwart Mal's attempts at pushing in. Ascent wants more. They're still going in, and they're able to kill the enemy demo, and a nice shot onto Trip's going to push him up in the air. They are going to lose one, but Bear is going to eventually die from all the chaos, and I think Psy's done. Psy's on Spy. He's on Pyro.
Well, he can't be done yet because there's 2 more rounds. It's first to 4, so he's out on Pyro trying to get out Cliff, and both scouts sitting on the high ground. I really love what Botman's been doing this map. He knows there's a sniper, and he's just going behind the entire game and just wreaking havoc, and Uber coming in from Logai. They have the cap. As long as they pop and stand on it, they should be good, barring some absolute disaster. Pipe onto Psy.
Only a kill onto the medic, but it seems like it's going to be enough as 3 people eventually drop. The rest of Mal is desperately trying to see what they can do to get on the point and prevent the overtime from turning into a lost round, but it's not going to be enough off of the initial deaths that Ascent gained with their Uber, so that's going to be another round.
Yeah, I want to see, do they... No, they're running the same roster. And I want to watch what bot mode is doing. Bot mode, he goes behind instantly and then just stays there. Maybe jumps back in, jumps back. I want to see really what he does, you know. Big Roamer fan.
Yep, and you can, a lot of his bombs have been really successful. He's bombing in, getting good damage onto the medic.
And he's
distracting tons of people,
back.
And it's set up perfectly for Laz to jump in and clean up on the damage that he's created. And it seems like that's going to be a complete wipe. The only loss is in Logai, which...
Rip had a really good salvage, but he threaded the needle with that bomb. He slipped through main, did damage, and pulled everyone back. And everyone just held W off of it, and they did a great job cleaning that up.
Yep. Seems like Mao is going to recognize that with the medic death, they can try to push forward here dry. They know it's even Ubers, but it doesn't seem like they want to push off that instead.
7th
Seems
Alpha
like
Sniper Part 2.
Want to mostly play off the sniper. They are able to get Zayler, though. It's really surprising, seeing as only half of Mal was really there quite yet. But either way, a demo kill is a demo kill. They get tons of damage onto the scouts. And Ascent's getting ready to back up here. They're all the way behind their houses. Trip is trying to create chaos above them on top of China. Bombwood is going to die, try and initiate onto Alpha, but it's going to be unsuccessful. But he is eventually going to die to Laz, so that is going to be something at least for the red team as they lose this point. Still, good control from Mal coming in to try to make sure they maintain the point here.
Bear's finally on Uber, so it's going to be even Ubers on this point. I don't know if Al's going to respawn the sniper. He does, so there's one scout, and they get a really late bot mode pick. Trip is dead beyond. Oh my god, the soldiers sink!
The perfect distraction, let AIM get all the way into main because everyone's focusing on Trip, so that's going to be a medic drop. Now all blue has to do is make sure that they stay alive, but they have a sniper. They're going to be going in immediately. The red team is trying to sneak through all the doors they can. They're able to lose 2, but they don't care as long as they're able to somehow force Bear. Bear's going to get really weak, but take the pack and it's going to be relatively okay. It's just pretty much Zayla left alive as he barely tries to escape away, and he is going to be successful. So that's going to immediately pretty much be the end of the red team's actual real push. They can spam a little bit, but they know that they don't have this Uber of their own to contest the blue team against, so they're just going to hang back, chill, wait for the respawners, and get ready for try number 2.
Yeah, that was insane. Trip hits a rocket with 10 HP and AIM flies in like an eagle. And that throws them back in this round. It looks like they're going to try and do a demo bomb on this Uber. Logai is alone, but...
No scout speed.
It's actually dodging really, really well. They get 2 picks, and it's a sniper. You got to hope the sniper hits a shot here, otherwise this fight is over. And Slem is 2 HP.
If Bear gets really weak, and they're actually going to lose Slem, so there's no counter initiation or support coming in from Laz's bomb. It seems like bot mode's desperately trying to see if he can get any last minute frags, but he's going to side against it as Red team is going to allow their team to spawn and then eventually cap, but Trip says, no, you're not going to delay that. I'm going to bomb in with aim and successfully bring them back enough to let Lol Guy die to Alpha. He desperately tried to back up to make sure he wasn't dying to these bombs that put him in a sniper slot, and then it got him killed. So now not only do they aren't able to take back this point like they were initially going to be able to, but now they're at uber disad for the next push coming into this point here.
I think they need to take a deep breath, get everyone buffed up, and then just send the soldiers behind, because it's kind of just scrappy fights after scrappy fights and letting Alpha be alone. Bomb by bot mode, it's just alone and it's not working. And they're just one by one going in. They get the sniper finally, and they get Trip, but there's a lot of weak players, and Bear does have Uber, and if Low shows a little bit too much, Low Guy's going to get bombs, and it looks like they pop, no ammo from Phelps, and they're just not going to bomb in at all.
I think that was just 2 straight pipes coming up from Zaylor. Good bomb coming in from aim, doing enough damage to allow Sai to be able to go and clean up the kill and also kill high 5. So really nice force attempt coming out from Zaylor and getting the force, but Uber was still successful enough to be able to collect the kills they needed to be able to hold this point. They are going to get a little bit of cap time, Ascent is, because they know that Mal doesn't necessarily have all the players alive, but they do have Alpha, and he's going to be able to collect another kill. So with this player advantage that Mal has, they're in a pretty nice position to be able to hold this. Bumble tries to bomb in, but he's stuffed a little bit, is able to collect Sai, and Phelps is getting sent backwards a little bit. Their health is actually not that great on Mal, despite having a player advantage, so they're eventually going to drop this and go all the way back. That's kind of surprising to see, but it is what it is, as Alpha's going to caught a little bit, 32 health, trying to desperately leave behind the house, and he's going to not get chased. Ascent's going to play a little bit safer, but I really thought that Mal was going to be able to hold that, but something went wrong, and now they have to retake this point here in this dry fight.
Yeah, Alpha's been showing out this round, and now all they need to do is get the cap once. It's going to be even Ubers in a couple seconds. Trip goes down, the flank is behind, and they're going to be pincered any second now. Alpha should get dealt with, but nice pipe by Phelps. He gets dealt with behind. The Ubers are being traded, and 2 people behind on the side of Mal, but they're all getting blown up in the front.
Yep, it seemed like the Ascent flank did enough damage to create enough chaos to set their team up for success here, as this post Uber is going to go very much in their favor. It's Trip at the very end trying to bomb in and see what he can do, but that is going to be a successful post Uber coming out of Ascent with Bear dying. So now 40% Uber ad coming in from Lullaby. It seems like there's a bit of a chase going on to Phelps, but not really a whole lot of committing going on because they know that things might flood out of the other door. So we finally have a forward hold setting up. I don't think we've seen that quite yet.
Yeah, aim in alone, he draws some eyes, and actually, they get a couple people in. They're going to deal with the soldier bot mode behind getting killed as well. They're going to trade 3 for 2, and Logai gets out just barely. I think Trip bombed in, just didn't quite get the kill. But once again, Alpha Sniper and big ad from Logai. Side behind, actually, slipping in. They get a headshot onto Zaylor, and Logai dies, and that's going to be the round. And just hero play after hero play from everybody on Mal. And surprisingly, they get another round, 3-2.
Sense crumbling a little bit. It seems like there's plenty of positions where they could be doing really nice, but it seems like it's faltering a little bit. But good play on Mal. They know how they're going to win this match, and it is the sniper. Alpha's pulling out some really nice plays, but they don't have it for this mid, so we'll have to see how it goes, Marmaloo.
Yeah, immediate bomb from Trip getting behind, and there's 2 soldiers behind. Aim's going to get dealt with. Trip trying to get in, but Phelps dies, and this mid's basically over unless they get on the low guy, but Trip doesn't focus on that. It's going to be even Ubers at least for this next point on the side of Mal, but Ascent getting this mid, and I want to see if they mess with their spawners or not.
I don't think it affects your own on the first cap. It just shortens the other teams.
Oh, okay.
So
I
yeah,
have no clue.
Yeah, you can. The first cap doesn't screw over your own spawns, but it does shorten theirs.
Okay,
so they're fine to cap it. But even Uber scenario, they do have Alpha up on Sniper.
Again,
that's their ticket to win. A little bit of edging of the point here, as we do have both soldiers bombing in. One's immediately headshot.
God.
Good play from Alpha, did what he can, but the other soldier's going to be able to get through, and they're finally taking the Uber exchange now that both of the red soldiers are dead. We have 1 soldier in aim going behind for this post Uber. Phelps is going to die though from a layered sticky trap coming in that was set in the middle of the mid, so of the Uber exchange, so it seems like Mal's resources are being used a little bit too much to not gain very much at all. So it's going to be unsuccessful at the end of the day, despite how initially good it was in the beginning. So back to square one, except this time it's a dry fight.
Bomb mode again. I think he got air shot into air headshot. Bomb mode in onto Phelps, gets 2 piped, and everyone on Mal is playing insane individually right now. Even Phelps. You wouldn't expect it, not known for his demo. And they get aim at least. Nice pipe from Zaylor, but they're leaving Uberad, and they're not getting. Oh no, they've had the. Okay, I didn't realize they've had the cap the entire time, and that's actually really good for Ascent. They drew out that fight for about 1 minute and 10 seconds.
Yep, even though their distraction play wasn't that very fruitful, they still have an Uber ad to work off of. It's dwindling a little bit, but the Ascent flank is making sure they can do what they can. They are going to lose one as they Uber in and trying to desperately chase what players they can. They're able to kill the demo and the sniper and Trip, even aim as well, but it's not that much of a big deal as long as Bear is able to escape with his own Uber, and they'll be able to leapfrog right back as soon as they get their respawners.
Basically a 4-man, you know.
Pretty
I guess
much.
you could say. But huge ad once again, and Alpha's going to go scout for this Uber ad push, and it looks like Ascent's actually trying to get a forward hold in. Phelps through a lot of damage onto Alpha as well. They get the force and they get 3 kills. This
3
Uber
drop.
is terrible. They get 1 pick at least, but I think that's going to be it.
And this post Uber is not that great either because it's a 3v5 dry fight, and blue team realizes this and realizes they have to back up. And they even lose one on their retreat. They definitely have to get a spawn. They lose one again. So it's just Bear left alive, meeting the respawners that died initially. Trip's going to see if he can try to stuff a little bit. Is able to successfully kill bot mode, but that could have been so great for Mal, but the execution was a little bit sloppy, and they weren't able to make sure that people were ready to get flashed. So it's going to be an unsuccessful push at the end of the day, and now instead of having ad this time, they have
This is
dis
hiding,
ad.
actually. Gonna get onto Bear, 1 direct, 2, and such a good play. And gets the sniper, gets a melee.
Hiding spots. Very, very strong. Aim's going in, trying to salvage with Trip. They are able to successfully get the force, but not without giving up their own lives. Actually, Trip's all the way behind right now. Probably going to try to force a 1v1 onto Laz, maybe. But it seems like Slem's going for the spot. Yeah, he knew. Able to clean that up, so blue team has to wait for their soldiers for this dry push, but it is a dry push, so they are back on the Alpha Sniper, set up on Cliff, seeing what he can see. Shot rings off, not quite any damage yet, but let's see what Ascent does to try to remedy the sniper being a thing. They are able to initially gain 2 kills, which is really good for them. Now 3, his Bear is very, very weak, 20 HP, gonna get shot down by both scouts, and that attempt at pushing is gonna be immediately thwarted. Long guy is gonna die though.
Big salvage by Trip, but this round has been Laz. A 3k there, a 2k on the last play, but Trip, 1 rocket right before he dies, gets the med and soldier, kind of putting them back on the map in this round. They need to touch this cap though, and they know, so all the players on the cap are super, super weak. High five could get them all, but insta-give. Zayler trying to get some pipes out, can't hit it. Laz is in, defending the cap, gets Phelps, trying to get on the Bear, a lot of damage, but gets the final rocket in. Now just bot mode behind, who should die. Yeah.
Yep, they cap, but they lose 3 for it, so it extends their spawn. So if you can look at the clock, and not the clock, but look at their timers and see that red team is ready to push before Buzz.
But they clean up.
And
it doesn't matter. That was the setup.
Yeah, that is the play they need to do to make sure that they
can't
do something.
sack 2 there. The aim
true.
had to get that alone. Otherwise, this round should be over because there's no way you come back from 2 players down for a medic when they're all full health still.
True,
That's going to be map.
Yeah, I completely forgot that the other players hadn't quite spawned yet. I thought they were much closer. So yeah, expending 2 for that is definitely not worth it, especially a medic that doesn't even have Uber yet. So I think their heart was in the right place, but the execution and how they did it and who they were shooting is probably a bit off and going to help. But then again, it's totally possible that they didn't go for that play and still lost in the end anyway, because they had to mess with their own spawn timers because it was overtime. So that's gonna be the match. It's gonna be this BO3. Mal is going home in 3rd place, and Ascent is moving on to the grand finals versus Froyotech to decide who is going to win this season.
Oh my, Slim went 39-8 with 500 DPM, 79 AC, and Zayler went 5-7? That's a crazy stat line. 5-7, 39-8.
Yeah, not surprising to see
I think
Slim
he dropped
go
50.
absolutely out of his mind.
He definitely dropped 50 total, right?
I think so.
Yep, 66-14 with 440 DPM. Slemmin right behind him. Not really right, but behind him, bot mode, Zayler, and then Psy.
Yeah, seems like the Psy scout was pretty good, and the Phelps demo could have used some work for Viaduct, but they got the rounds on the board they needed to.
Oh, Trip boy.
Yep, Trip got the short end of the stick this game, not able to do a whole lot for his team other than dry eyes, which is not bad, but it's never happy to go into a Viaduct game as roamer and pull out stats like that, I'm sure you know. The grind of Viaduct Soldier can be painful sometimes against a team that has a scout that's going 66-14.
Yeah, you kind of just gotta stop fighting him. You're not winning that fight. Just ignore. You gotta take a team fight. But overall, that was a crazy back and forth game. A bit weird, some gimmicks. but you love to see it. Slem, I
He
think
gets MVP for
I
sure.
don't know what the most kills in a game is. Yeah. I keep thinking of 81, but that's basketball. I don't know what the actual most kills are in a
Like in a
sixes
map?
game. Yeah, in a map.
The only thing I can think of that like
Just
immediately
Clockwork,
pops
isn't it?
out is like that Clockwork Viaduct game got into like the
Mm.
80s because it was like a 3-4 or something. So there's a
82.
lot of
Thank
round
you,
plays.
Slim.
It was 82. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So it's getting there. Not too far off. Still pretty successful performance. So congrats to Ascent for moving on, and they definitely showed that they can do what they need to do to make sure that they can stay in this bracket, keep going on to another match. The question is do we have a potential interview coming up from one of the winners potentially?
We could probably get someone, but yeah, just overall, honestly, I did not expect them to do that well, especially rolling out with that roster. But impressive overall. A couple highlight clips. I bet you could make a whole frag vid just from this map entirely, because there were some shots.
Yeah, I definitely saw a lot of. I don't know how much the camera caught, probably a decent amount because Dolphin's pretty good at what he does, but there were definitely a lot of shots to be seen in this BO3 on Viaduct and Process as well. So definitely shows that when you get up into the high echelons of invite, people's DM are insane. And as you mentioned on Viaduct, it's very, very prevalent because that's what that map is. It's what it is for the most part. Spare a thing or two. But it seems like we aren't going to have an interview this time. Since just going to chill with their victory and figure out what they want to do for their upcoming match. So I think for the most part, I think that's going to be it for us, unless you have anything else you can think about.
Not much, but this match being over means Grands, I think, are on Wednesday. And it's going to be Ascent Froyo, an age-old, timeless classic. You always see it, and yeah, I think that's all we got here. And 2-0 for Ascent in the end, but a little bit closer on the last map than I expected.
Yeah, I think so as well. All right, well, I guess that's it from us. There's no more TF2 to watch, so thank you all for coming out. Marmalou, do you have any shoutouts before we sign off here?
Nah.
Shout out to my Highlander team will be my shout out, and shout out to the players for putting on a good show. There were a lot of insane plays to be watched, and it was pretty entertaining, and I can't wait to see what grand finals hold in store for us. But otherwise, I think that's pretty much it for us. So you have to catch us Wednesday, or maybe a different day if it gets a weird day, but we'll put a tentative Wednesday for now, and then make sure everyone checks up to confirm it on your own time. But we'll see you then on the next cast, but that'll be it for us. I'm Jarrett, and I've been casting with Marmalou, and we'll see you guys next time.